everybody, and welcome back once again to Let's Play Tyranny. Yes, indeed, I've come back from my shopping and now I'm ready to sit down and play another couple of sessions of this. Really enjoying this. So, yeah, last session, I realised why, when I started recording the last session, that I, messed up the first 20 minutes because I didn't have my Tyranny feed recording. It's because I don't use the Tyranny feed, because the mouse is out of alignment. Forgot about that, so in the last session the mouse is out of alignment again. I'm supposed to use the screen capture setting. Anyway, so we've got the screen capture on now, so that's all sorted. And one last thing before we dive in. On the Discord I put this message, though you may have seen this, but if you haven't, then this is for you. I've just finished some lovely fish and chips. It's Friday evening, Fish Friday. Thought I'd have a treat this evening. Fish and chips for dinner. I had a 50% Uber Eats voucher, so I thought, why not order fish and chips on Uber Eats, get 50% off, it'd be marvellous. Got my mum a fish, I got fish and chips with some calamari as well. And anyway, so it came, I'm plating up and talking to my mum in the kitchen and get all the food out, and then I get the salt, put the salt on, and then I get the vinegar. Open the top of the vinegar, like, talking to my mother away, and I was expecting it to have one of those tops, like a little filter top that you can shake the vinegar onto your chips straight from the bottle. This wasn't one of those bottles. This was a kind of a refill bottle which doesn't have one of them. It's just got an open top, like a bottle of juice. So I open it up, talking away, start splashing this vinegar, expecting it to have a top on to help me to put on with the chips. No. Big splashes of vinegar drenched my plate. What are you doing? I said, oh, what there you bought a bloody vinegar bottle with no flipping shaky top thing on for? Anyway, there you go. I salvaged some of my dinner, don't worry. And too much vinegar is better than too much salt, because too much salt completely ruins it. Too much vinegar is not quite so bad. So there you go. Dear me, my mother was bent over in hysterics in the kitchen. She
no reason to tear.
Absolutely hilarious. Okay, so in the last session we picked up Barrick. And he's quite the hulking chap, isn't he? In his fused armour. We've given him a point of vitality because we're going to make him into a bit of a tanky character. Regardless of whether or not it's the best build for him, there's arguments that 200 DPS would be better, but we're playing on normal, so we're not going for optimum, we're just going for what we fancy, and I fancy building him to be a tank, but he looks like a tank, doesn't he? So vitality, maybe a little bit quickness for his abilities, and resolve, I'm thinking, possibly. But we'll see, we'll play around with that. In terms of his talent, we've picked Sentinel, Clash of Iron, issue a mocking invitation, so it's a bit of a taunt. And what I forgot to do off camera is I forgot to do the AI, so we're going to switch AI Versi to be Archer, and I'm going to switch his AI to be Protector. Protecting the party. Okay, so yeah, as I said, we're going to, because it's on normal, I'm going to try and experiment with just having these guys do their own stuff. We'll just control Calvina. See how far we get doing that when we're not issuing these guys any sort of instructions at all, other than to heal, I suppose. Would it be more possible in Pillars of Eternity 2? Because the AI scripting in that was absolutely brilliant. But we'll see. Anyway, one final thing, rather long introduction here. Spells. Obviously we picked up the sigil of this one here. Name escapes me, but we have crafted some spells for the entire pack. Everyone can cast spells. This game is not class specific, so these guys with their low lore, I just give them some basic spells just in case they want to use them. Of course, Calvina with her much better lore has got much better spells. So, and I have used some of your suggestions for names. Like in Pillars of Eternity, the Archmages put their name to their spells. I thought an ode to Fedoran would be here, so we've got Fedoran's Fiery Fury, which is a fireball spell with extra little bells and whistles. We've given it the Sigil of Strength and a bit of extra range as well. Here we have Glacis Wrath. Remember Glacis? Fost Atronach, Skyrim. Yep, bit of an honour to his services. We've got, again, ice, range, got timeless form to extend the frozen affliction, and sigil of strength. Here we have just lightning bolt, bit of a bog standard one, that one. Again, we've got sigil of timeless form to extend the stunned affliction, and also sigil of strength. And we've gone for, finally, fiery judgment. More of a touch-based one, but it has been extended slightly, and it's been given that for the extra mage fire, and it's been given extra strength as well. So, yeah, some nice spells to play with for Calvina. And now, without further ado, let's head out into the wilderness to find the Scarlet Chorus camp. So, Edgering Ruins, disfavoured camp. Northern Clearing is where we would go to rescue the Earth Shakers. So we'll go to the Scarlet Chorus first, and then we'll go that way. 12 hours, it's a long way to go, but I think if we do Echo Call Crossing, it's more of a main questy type thing, so let's roll with it. 1 hour 30, not a problem. Your path is blocked by a small group of Vendrian Guard. Is that so?
That's far enough, Fatebinder.
A woman's voice booms from atop a nearby outcropping. Flashes of aquamarine body paint peek out from under her loose-fitting traveller's garb. And her outfit is festooned in braids and knots of sailor's line. Okay, so I don't know about this. Aquamarine body paint, what's that? Traditional trappings of the School of Tides. According to Fatebinder Rogalus, the majority of the school fled before the coming of Kairos. The remainder were last seen during the first campaign in Vendrian's Well. Okay, so we're studying magic of water and gravelight. Interesting. She's flanked by warriors. A swath of blue fabric rests draped over her arm. Swath of blue fabric, what's that? Blue flag is a symbol of diplomacy and truce recognised across most of the known world, and it is custom the Tiersmen hold dear. To harm another person under the auspices of a blue flag is a grave offence in both the Tiers and in Kairos' empire. Customary punishment is death. Okay, so we're not going to kill her then. But to obviously a fellow mage type, and we are also aware of Kairos' law that mages should belong to a particular school, and this school that she belongs to is gone rogue. Unsanctioned magic.
In accordance with ancient customs north and south, I offer and request a delay of blade. There are matters we must discuss without fear of reprisal.
The woman bows deeply, lowering her head in a practiced display of etiquette. The warriors by her remain in a steady stance, their nerves clearly on edge. Yes, well, in accordance with ancient customs north and south, I abide by this truce.
As is our custom, we are ready to kill to defend our lands, but we kill only in fair battle. We don't slay our prisoners. We know this isn't Kairos' way, but we must have hope. A few of my kin have gone missing, and though they may have perished, I have to inquire on the off chance they still live. If Captain Tarkus Deimos still lives, we would negotiate for his release.
Ah, well, you see, Tarkus Deimos is dead.
I see. That is as I feared, but thank you for telling me all the same. I prefer closure to wishful thinking. If I may make one more inquiry, what of Palox Tyrell? Did he survive?
Well, no, Palox Tyrell is also dead. She nods slowly, saying nothing for a long moment.
My apologies, Fatebinder. I had a terrible feeling this errand was in vain from the start. I had no expectations that our friends could be saved, as I'm sure the time for swapping prisoners is long gone. But at least I know of what became of them. That'll have to be enough.
Yes, well, now that I have answered your questions, perhaps you can do the same.
We shouldn't be socializing with Oathbreakers.
Calvina looking at Barak aghast. How dare he interject like this?
I will entertain them as best I can. After all, understanding is the only hope we have. What is it you wish to know?
Oh, interesting. There is some of these. I don't know how many questions we can ask here, so we'll have to get to the point straight away. This is what interests her quite. Although she knows the answer, to be quite honest with you. She seems like a woman of custom, and they don't kill prisoners. But just seeking confirmation.
That's some sort of trick question? No, we don't kill prisoners, magic or otherwise.
Just for the benefit of those present, as extra witnesses. Why do you resist Kairos? What are you trying to save?
I grew up without my knee bent to Kairos, and if I'm going to bow to someone, let it be another Tearsman. We've ruled ourselves just fine for centuries, so we'll give our lives so that our sons and daughters might rule themselves.
But a mage like you would not be subject of such superstition and fear under Kairos' reign.
I doubt life is any better sworn to some mad Archon. I'd rather stand with my fellow Tearsmen. Or, I suppose, stand immediately behind them in the event of an attack.
Soldiers exchanging shocked looks.
Yeah, you heard me. Way things were years back, you'd all be calling me a water witch and conspiring to sell me out to the nearest sage. Just because I'm helping you stop Kairos doesn't mean I've forgotten the hospitality of ages past.
Helping stop Kairos, is it?
And people wonder why the Tearsmen could never unite in time to fight back. It's refreshing to see that some things never change.
Well, we're not going to show the fact regarding her intentions at this point. You sound like we're trying to convince her to join. We need to speak to the organ grinder for that. We don't get the feeling that she's the leader of this insurrection. So asking who is.
Listen to you. Thinking just like the Overlord wants you to think. There always has to be a person in charge or things don't make sense. Well, we don't answer to anyone. We are each of us sons and daughters of the Tears, and take this task upon ourselves freely. But Captain Tarkus Ari, former Falksman of Queen Vendry and Alanta, is the voice we trust when we seek unanimity.
Tarkus Ari. And I'm assuming that Tarkus Ari and Tarkus Demos are relations.
Yes. Deimos was Ari's brother. We were certain he was dead, but the captain takes family seriously. So I volunteered to find some answers. And now here we are.
Here we are indeed. Please, do entertain me. How did you and your friends overthrow the garrison?
I would joke that the voices of Narat left the gate unlatched, but dozens of warriors lost their lives taking the citadel. There was no secret to it. We simply attacked with speed and certainty at a time when the Archons were elsewhere in the Tiers. The Scarlet Chorus had a rout, and what few disfavored soldiers were present made an impressive showing. But they were surrounded and overwhelmed once the Chorus fled.
Indeed. That is all.
Fair enough. But now a question for you.
Oh, questions.
The Edict. I can feel its magic coursing through the air. Everyone can. But those of us enlightened to the currents of magic feel it most. The wording of the Edict. What was it?
Interesting. Now, would we disclose that to an obvious enemy? I think we wouldn't. Because it might give them... Well, they're doomed either way, aren't they? If they resist us, they're doomed because the edict will take hold. If we overthrow them, the edict ends. Would it convince them to back down, knowing that? Do you know what? No. We're going to keep our cards close to our chest on this one. Such details. I'm afraid of for Kairos' warriors only.
So you will not say? I expected as much. Can it be worse than endless storms or fire pouring from the earth? Not that you'd answer that either. I've another question for you, if you will entertain it.
Please, do go on.
Are we really standing here and chatting with Oathbreakers? It's hard to watch, like cuddling a goat you're going to kill for dinner.
I would mind you to hold your tongue. Ask your question.
When I was young, my parents told me the Tears were special, and the Overlord's edicts and armies could never touch us. Seems I've been told a hefty sum of lies. So answer this honestly for me, please. Is it true that Tunon's Fatebinders can smell truth from falsehood?
I mean, how ludicrous does it sound? But we're not a liar. We're not. And what benefit is it in lying about such a thing? Although keeping people on their toes, stories to frighten little children. Who's to say that they'd believe her if she spread the truth? Of course, it's not true. We don't smell it, but we can certainly sense it.
Thanks for that. I could see why you'd want to foster the mystique all the same. The School of Tides would always tell commoners we didn't know how to summon drinkable water. Once they find out, you can't eat in peace. And Kairos' edicts. I have heard the sages speak at length that some of the edicts elsewhere in the world have been broken. How is this?
Yeah, this, however, we are not going to divulge, considering there is one in play right now. But again, we're not a liar. I mean, we may lie if it's absolutely necessary, but it really isn't here, because this conversation is done.
Best news I've heard all day. Let's go before you tell them about our guard rotation and the secret of iron.
Oh, please, I've hardly given her too much to walk away with.
In accordance to our ancient customs north and south, let us conclude this truce in peaceful accord. May peace find you soon, Fatebinder.
Oh, we have received a missive. Okay, and we've got a thing here. Okay, so
no other way.
What's that? Azure Bell. So she knows that we can't smell truth from lies. Oh well, that's as much as she's divulged from if she's got from us. You know. So be it. We've got the name of the leader of this insurrection. That could be useful. Alright. Oh, there's a sword there, but it doesn't seem we can pick that up. We got a load of things. So missives. This is new. You have received a missive. The hell? Can we move this? Come here. Nope, we can't. Missives are short messages carried by birds between distant parts of Kairos' empire. Click on the missive icon or press V to open the missive interface. I don't use hotkeys, you fools. I like to click. The Will of Kairos. Ah, so look at this. We actually have favour with the Court of Tunan and Wrath as well. So this is a measure of how good a job we're doing. Calvina. Word has reached this court that you have issued the Overlord's edict to the Archons of War and Secrets. Know that we understand fully the weight of this burden and appreciate the loyalty you show in its declaration. Provided you survive this span, your service will be duly recognised. As you navigate the idiosyncrasies and mutual antipathy of our Overlord's War Masters, remember that Kairos watches all with interest. Those who distinguish themselves with a Fatebinder or Archon have the opportunity to rise in the Overlord's esteem. Exactly her goal. She seeks to rise through the ranks as far as she can possibly go. Even now, the Northern Courts whisper that the more successful of the two Archons will be granted rule over the whole of the peninsula. Similarly, your fortunes rest upon the decisions you make. Choose wisely. Tunan himself, our boss. Request clarification. Thank him. I think we get exactly what he means. Let's not play stupid here. Thank him for his advice, of course. Writing a reply, tying it to the bird's leg and sending it off. And express my deep appreciation for this opportunity. Blah, blah, blah. Bit of sucking up. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, empowered words. Oh, so glorious endeavour to always emulate your exemplary foresight and judgment. I remain in all things your faithful servant, Calvina. God, I didn't strike. She didn't strike me as a brown noser. Yes, she wanted to get on, but my God, that's sickening. Anyhow, of course the game writes that way. I don't have a choice. But yes. Is that it? Is it gone? Send it. Oh yeah, 24-hour response time. Can we not reword this? Right, it's gone. Excellent. To the Scarlet Chorus camp now. Hopefully we won't be impeded further. Well, it's safe to say this session won't be 25 minutes long. Okay, here we are, the Scarlet Chorus camp. Expect there to be anarchy here.
Let's be off.
Okay, so we've got some people outside. Would we busy ourselves with them? Maybe on the way out. We've got important business inside. A rotting body bearing Scarlet Chorus war paint is skewered upon a wooden pike. What on earth? The guard places her hands by her belt as you approach, gripping the hilt of a blade. Past this point is Chorus territory, and you don't look like someone's conscript. You sure you're in the right place? She can't help herself. I'm always in the right place. That walking hunk of rust, what's he? She, maybe. It doing here? He's an allied warrior and a member of my team. Please, do not make an issue of this. Fine, just come on in. I'm sure the Fury will gut you if you're really a problem. Yeah. She nods towards Versus, waving us in. Bloody cards. Okay, Death Knell, Fifth Eye. Again, I don't know where we're supposed to be going here. Is there a head honcho's tent? Snigler Dagos. Ah, Fifth Eye's probably the head honcho. He was the guy that was alongside the voices of Marat back in the disfavoured camp.
Let's have it then.
Speak with him first. What's this? A scroll. Ooh, Sigil of Illusion. A new type of spell. Interesting. So what does it give us if we do that? False Pit. Oh, it knocks them prone. Ooh, we might replace that one with a ranged version of this. Cool. Fifth Eye. Ah, here he is. Ah, the binder of Tunon arrives. Squealing with teenager's timbre, the Fifth Eye's voice makes your gums itch and your fingernails feel in need of a trim. And we just finished having a bit of sport with some captives, but worry not, we'll have more fun with another batch momentarily. Oh, beckoning us closer. It is a distinct pleasure to see you again, Firestarter. No doubt I and my gang might not have lived to see this day, and you not taken charge of that disastrous assault on the Vellum Citadel. He jabs a finger toward you for emphasis. You made a wise trade. A few disfavoured lives for hundreds of choirmen. Kairos would approve. Now that you have issued the edict and doomed us all to die, have you come to help us climb out of this hole? I think she's less concerned with how this camp has reacted to the news than the disfavoured camp, to be quite honest with you. I trust you are getting your warriors ready for battle. We know the Oathbreakers are focused in the citadel beneath the mountain spire, but we have learned this is not their only nest. Given their pattern of attacks, they must have a second group maintaining camp here in the outer valley, and unless we deal with this second group, they'll attack from behind the moment we cross the river. Yes, indeed. You have how large a force? And for all these weeks, and yet the enemy move freely through the valley? I'm hurt. Insult my manners or maturity, but do not insinuate that I sit idle when there's blood to be shed. We have dealt with countless Oathbreakers, but one group remains at large despite our best efforts. Captain Pelox's crew consistently evades or kills our own gangs. I see. So you need help taking out these Oathbreakers? And while a good old-fashioned slaughter would be an efficient solution, the smarter answer is not to kill them, but to add their strength to ours. My last group of scouts returned with a new batch of prisoners, and one of these prisoners claims she can lead us to the Vendrian's Guard's secondary camp, though there are threads of deception in her voice. I could use your help questioning this Variakel. Perhaps you will get less screams and tears and more useful information out of her. If we knew where to ambush the Oathbreakers, we could try and take their captain and show him the wisdom of joining the chorus. Yes, why not just ask the Archon of Secrets? I thought he could interrogate anything. Oh dear. An intelligible mutter escapes from under the Fifth Eye's mask as his posture stiffens. I do not tell the voices of Nerat what to do, nor do I question his motives. The Archon is busy plotting the efficient destruction of these Oathbreakers and is not to be disturbed. I've known the Archon to demand personal interrogations, but it's only ever been with leaders, mages, or others of great merit. I've often imagined the interrogation process is not to be taken lightly. Perhaps it's downright exhausting for him. Fine. I shall speak with the prisoner. I will meet you there. She's waiting by the other prisoners. Okay, bit of interrogation. Yes, we're used to that. But not before we've explored the rest of the camp first. Snigledagos. Who the hell is that? It's a merchant. What an honour! The name Snigledagos. Originally from the relative tranquility of the Northern Empire, I have since accepted a nomadic life for the sake of keeping Kairos' force supplied with only the finest goods. Local and imported. Indeed. Right, we've got some stuff here. Ooh! Now, hang on just 1 second. Sigil of Channeled Strength. Cone. Vigour. That's new. And Precise Action. Accuracy. All of those are new, and all of those are required, and we can just about afford them, but it will leave us pretty broke. So let's see what we can trade to get some money back. Them. That. Not doing much, is it? Not barely touching the sides here. That. For now. It's a starter. It's just their bloody head wrap. I mean, come on. It's not going to protect a damn thing. Right, okay, that'll do. Woohoo! New spelly stuff. Reg and Baz. These look like the two disfavoured people. Trainers, maybe? Well, look who we have here. The Fatebinder finally shows herself. I'm Reg. The second soldier chimes in. And this is Baz. Oh, he's speaking. Wrong way around. Anyway. I'm certain that these are... I thought these were trainers. Trainers, no? Oh. Shame.
No can do.
Well, how do we get over here? Shattered glass vial. Bent bronze dagger. $47 subterfuge. Now, isn't that disappointing? Drats. Certainly not as well organised as the disfavoured camp. Very, very haphazard. Brittle, rusted weaponry. Tents with all kinds of holes and rips in them. Things strewn about the place. And a pig. A bloody pig. Okay. Hang on.
Hey, over there.
Okay, we can open this one.
That wasn't so hard.
Graven Ash protects.
Provisions that are withered with rot. Murky red water. Severed limbs bobbing in their... Ugh, how awful. Battle plans and a small bottle. Okay. We'll speak with Salveros and then we'll speak with Death Knell and then we'll speak with Fifth Eye. Hail, Fatebinder of Tunen. Disfavoured contingent. Were I a betting or a superstitious man, I'd say fortune must favour me today. I am not. But I am pleased to meet you all the same. Now, what brings you to my little slice of personal damnation, otherwise known as... He spreads his thickly gloved hands wide. This here mud and shit-stinking chorus camp. Yes, asking for a report. What about the chorus isn't unusual? The army itself is a strange, malnourished beast. But no, their screamers seem mostly in order, ma'am, and I haven't been spying, if that's what you're implying, ma'am. Of course, even if I was, it'd be damn near impossible to learn anything from this shit sty. Fifth Eye and those damn Furies don't even loop me in enough for me to do my detail. And it's not for lack of trying on my part. Yes, what do you mean? I am not just here to keep a steady eye on the Oathbreakers, who they give far too much freedom after conscripting. I am here to be a resource for the benefit of both armies. I can provide insight regarding proper stratagem and request a stock of troops from Iron Marshal Irenaeus for reinforcements, if needed. But they won't listen to me, nor confide in me, nor fight beside the brethren I could request. Okay, sounds about right. You? So you're Tunen's Fatebinder? I was expecting something more impressive. She bows in spite of her misgivings. Death Knell, Scarlet Fury. My time is yours for as long as it amuses me. Let's get one thing clear. Stick to your words and law, leave the fighting to the grown adults. Your corpse would just be a tripping hazard to those of us having a proper bit of carnage sport. We've got enough useless twats dying for our name as it is. All our Horde recruits seem good for, of late, is piling in a shit-reeking mound on the battlefield. Keeps up, and we'll have to toughen our recruitment standards. Again. Now what do you need? What were you expecting? Do I disappoint you? Let's see. From your deeds during the conquest to how you've helped us since then? Suppose I didn't expect much. And you've done nothing to challenge it. By Scarlet Chorus standards, you're no more ordinary than a conscript. Work a little harder on setting yourself apart. Maybe someday you live up to your name. Yeah, okay. We'll keep her opinions to herself. It is completely fine. We're not one to start causing a ruckus in the middle of the camp. We get our revenge with words and actions. Not with pure out violence. Unless actually, absolutely necessary, of course. Right. Let's speak to Fifth Eye. He's surveying the camp. Nods as Calvina approaches. Was there anything else? Yes, before we get down to business, what can you tell me about Ascension Hall? At the centre of Vendrian's Well, at the base of the mountain spire. is a small fortification. Ascension Hall is the name of the Citadel's inner council chamber. We had left a garrison when this valley was first taken in 429, with the Citadel being the base of operations. When the Oathbreakers staged their revolt, the garrison at Ascension Hall was defeated. Makes sense that Kairos' edict would demand that we burn this rebellion back to its point of origin. What's the strongest in your camp? Does it matter? No. Let's get to interrogation, shall we? Variah Kell. She says, rather loudly, and this one raises her head. Ah, you, is it? Please, someone. I wish to bow before the voices of Narat. I thought all could find redemption in the chorus. She lurches forward in agony. Her soiled, trembling legs suggest she has been forced to stand for days. Oh dear. Ah, this one was hollering earlier that she knows the location of the Vendrian Guard encampment, but she isn't being entirely honest. I told this thing that I wanted a guarantee I'd live and be welcomed into the chorus as a captain. Then I'll talk, otherwise they'll just kill me once I've opened up. I was dumb enough to join with the Vendrian Guard, but I'm not dumb enough to give away my bargaining bronze. You claim you would disavow your people for the Scarlet Chorus. Why the change of heart? Because I want to live. And you don't need to be the Archon of Premonitions to know that the younger realms are gone for good. Kairos is the new strength of the Tears, and I would rather stand with his Archons than be crushed by them. And tell me, this is rather important, why should I trust the words of an Oathbreaker? I suppose I have no answer for that. When I joined with the Vendrian Guard, I accepted their broken vow unto myself. Have you not felt passion for a foolish cause, one you later came to regret? Well, my surrender is sincere, and I'm willing to bow before the voices of Narat to prove it. Okay. Tell me what you know, and you have my word as a fate binder that I will see to your release. I heard the chorus is looking for Captain Pelox Florian and his crew. I can lead you to them, but only if you release me. You've heard the stories, haven't you, Variah? That fate binders can smell liars? And I smell a lie. Why don't you tell me what you actually know? Otherwise I shall leave you here to rot. Well, you see, okay, so I don't know exactly where the rest of my crew is, but I saw, I can tell you, search that one. She reaches up with her right leg and points to her with her foot, calling attention to a nearby pile of corpses. The tall dark one missing most of his face. Check his left boot. He was the literate one in our crew. He had the orders. With a snap of his fingers, a pair of choirmen yank the boot off the fallen guardsman. A rolled parchment slides out of the boot and is thrust into Fifth Eye's hands. He unfurls the scroll to give it a read. Yeah, it's nonsense. It's just a matter of words. Laughter erupts from under the mask. She said she had information. She gives us garbage. Slay this wretch for wasting our time. Hold. I heard her say she'd swear fealty to the voices of Narat. Isn't an initiation rite in order? Seeing as you are an expert on the subject of fate, I will entertain your wisdom on the matter. What then would you propose to do with her? Well, other than words, she has not proven her loyalty. I suggest that she test her loyalty to the extreme. Varaya, kill these guardsmen with something blunt. If you do it, we will not question your loyalty again. Varaya looks at the prisoners, once her allies, and closes her eyes as her bonds are untied. The onlookers snicker and cheer when a heavy rock is placed in her hand. Mouthing something inaudible, she lifts the rock high above her head and smashes it down on the prisoner's skull, wincing back a scream as she hoists the stone over her head a second time to finish the job on the other prisoner. The bloody rock hits the ground, and Varaya slumps to her knees in defeat a moment later. Good, good. Welcome to the Scarlet Chorus. Do not fail us. As a pair of soldiers come to lift Varaya, the fifth eye turns to you, his voice filled with glee. Where's a slave to clean up the offal when you need it? Oh dear. We're no closer to finding the Oathbreaker's position, not with this cryptic mess. She promised us answers, and all she gave was gibberish.
Sorry to interrupt, but I highly doubt it's gibberish. More likely, it's one of the local scripts.
Calvina doing a complete about turn. Excuse me? The voice comes from another prisoner tied up next to Varaya, an older gentleman with the quill, ink vials and parchment scrolls one finds on the sages of the School of Ink and Quill. Ink smudges cover his cheeks, temples and ears. His clothes appear charred, and between the rips of the fabric you spot burn scars along his arms. Despite being emaciated and tied to a post, he offers a beaming smile. You have me at a disadvantage. Who are you?
I'm Sage Lantry, one of the hired quills that was coordinating missives between the Vendrian guard captains. They aren't paying me anymore and aren't coming to my rescue. So I'll decipher that parchment for you. That's what smart prisoners do, right? Make themselves useful.
Calvina casting her eye over the parchment for herself. You unroll the parchment and see a message of modest length written with professional, albeit hasty penmanship. The Tearsmen speak the Canto, just like the Northerners, but they have a half-dozen different ways of writing it. This particular script is unknown to you. Showing him the parchment. Can you read this?
Well, let me see. I can't. So, I don't know exactly what it says, but I'm half certain that's Sage Selwyn's handwriting. I'm sure I could decipher that in a few hours' time. Don't need my hands free, but I think better when not tied to a post. I know, I'm weird that way.
Few hours. A few hours? Either you can read it or you cannot. What use is a sage that doesn't know his letters? I've heard all I need to hear. I say we have some fun with this one. Okay, we'll put the pressure on first. See if his stalling for time. You heard him. Your life depends on you translating this scroll now.
I would love to help. I just need some time. That's written in another sage's shorthand. I'd have to sit down with it, or better yet, compare it to a piece of his writing I have stashed on me somewhere. If I sat down with it while sufficiently sober, it's highly probable I'd figure it out.
Sober? Since when do we share the good stuff with the prisoners?
Oh, nobody shared. Right before I was taken prisoner, I imbibed several vials of reagents. I wanted to be numb and disconnected when my captors used me for carnal catharsis. It's made these last few days tied to a post almost enjoyable.
Well, we know enough to know that sages from the school of the Ink and Quill are clever people. It's a calculated risk because time is ticking. But we shall give him a few hours. You read the edict. I don't need to tell you the sundial is working against us. This addled old bag is just trying to stall us. No, says Calvina. I don't think he is. Untie him. Give him a chance to translate. Are you giving me orders, Binder? Does this look like Turan's court to you? Last I checked, only the Archon of Secrets can tell me what to do with a prisoner. His crimson spear pounds his staff. Pounds his staff the ground? The crimson spear pounds his staff on the ground, I'm supposing that's supposed to mean. If this old man wants freedom, we shall give him his fair shot at a trial.
Fatebinder, I beseech you, be my advocate for this trial. I'm no fool. I know the chorus uses blood, not words, to settle these matters. But you are a servant of the Archon of Justice, are you not?
Pipe down. Well, we're not going to be any use as a fighting champion, but pulling him into our custody. Yes. Laying claim to him. Not a chance! He's our prisoner. If you think you can crack the information we need out of his skull without troubling the Archon, that's one thing, but you are not walking out of here with our property. True. But by Kairos' law, he could swear fealty to me and become my sworn vassal. My property.
A most clever technicality. And I would happily serve the Archon of Justice's warrior. Especially if it means getting out of this mess without a perforated lung.
She knows her laws and her loopholes. Silence, old man! Good luck bowing to the Fatebinder with your head pulled from your neck. If I jabs a finger at you. The chorus earned this prisoner right and proper. If you wish to rob from me, go ahead. But all will know you are the sort of Fatebinder to take as you please. Yes, when what I need to take is potentially a vital piece of a puzzle, I will indeed take it. Hand him over. A low growl rumbles from underneath his mask as he mulls over your comment. Fine. As a gesture of goodwill to an ally, you can have the stupid sage. Now be gone! You are sucking the joy out of my camp.
Thank you. Oh, I thought I was going to wind up as another corpse in that pile. Now, hand me that parchment. The sooner I can find out what it says, the sooner I can get out of this place.
I will warn you. Should this be a facade, I shall feed you to these people. Well, much of the parchment was weathered, but I could make out the important parts of the text. The note makes mention of a meeting spot west of Tripnettle. So, the old sage knows his words after all. I'd ask that you travel ahead and see if you can't get to this Captain Florian and get him to yield to the chorus. They will strike at first sight of a chorus gang, but perhaps they will parley if yours is the face they see. I know the area and suggest we go at once. I'll show you the way. I'm eager to be far from the stench of this camp. Well, he has served his purpose. And why are you offering to accompany me? More importantly, why should I have you accompany me? Well, because the alternative is, what, living here with these illiterate brutes? My old study is under a river of fire, and there is no family missing me. Besides, I'd much rather chronicle the binder that twice proclaimed an edict of Kairos. I'd be a fool to let someone else write your story. Chronicle? Well, of course. Even if the burning library is never rebuilt, I'll work to chronicle the days and the events needn't cease. And you're a noteworthy player in this whole war. I can't think of another living fate binder that has been twice given the honour of proclamation. Well, she's not overly concerned with having her escapades chronicled. As I said previously, she's not exactly the kind of person to brag or to seek that kind of attention, but again, she does recognise the potential of a sage of the school and school of Ink and Quill, but she does want fealty. This is a risk she is taking. She wants fealty. If that is your price, I will pay it. I, Sage Lantry of the School of Ink and Quill, do pledge my services and skein to the Fate Binder, and by extension to the Court of Tunan. I know I may seem old and frail, but I know how to step lightly and how not to get killed. Really, I won't slow you down. Lead the way and let me know if I can be of service. Are we done here? Let's hightail it to Tripnettle. If your new pet doesn't behave himself along the way, I'm not above clipping his ears. Okay, so now we have a new party member to complete our set of 4. We have Lantry, the Sage, who is another magic user, I'm guessing. So whilst we are casting the aggressive spells, he could start casting perhaps some of the more supportive spells. Anyhow, I think we're done here. Just short of the hour mark, so pretty good timing. So in the next session, we'll have a quick talk with the people out here, and then we shall determine where we are going to go next. Because, well, we're not quite so sure. Tripnettle Wilderness, Northern Clearing. Seems like a good path to take before coming back to Echo Call Crossing. But, yeah, we'll make the definitive decision next time. So join me for that. Until then, see you soon.